Have you ever looked around and wondered why some people seem to glide through life, navigating its challenges with a sense of purpose and ease, while so many others feel like they're constantly struggling just to keep their heads above water? It's a question that can keep you up at night. You might tell yourself it's just luck, or that they were born with a special talent you don't have, or maybe they were just handed more opportunities. But the truth, the real secret, is something much more fundamental and, thankfully, something that is entirely within your reach. It all comes down to one simple, powerful concept: control. I'm talking about control over what you say, control over what you think, control over how you feel, and control over how you manage your essential resources. Let me be clear. If you can master your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, you can absolutely master your life. Most people live their entire lives unaware that the power to change everything they want to change is already inside them. A sleeping giant waiting to be awakened. But if you don't intentionally take control of these fundamental areas, they will, without a doubt, control you. These aren't just small habits. They are the architects of your reality. They influence every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every opportunity you either seize with both hands or let slip through your fingers. When you control them, you are the one steering the ship. When you let them run wild, you will inevitably find yourself shipwrecked on a shore you never intended to visit. So today, let's dive deep into this. We're going to break down what this control truly looks like. My promise to you is that when we're done, you will walk away with a renewed sense of focus, a profound sense of responsibility, and the keys to taking ownership of your life. Master your mouth, the power of your words first. Let's talk about your mouth. When I say control your mouth, I'm not just talking about holding your tongue when you're angry, although that is a vital part of it. I'm talking about something much deeper. Developing a profound respect for the creative power that is unleashed with every single word you speak. The words that leave your lips are like arrows shot from a bow. Once they are released, you can never take them back. So many of us are careless with this power. We speak without thinking, venting negativity, spreading gossip, or voicing complaints without ever considering the ricochet effect. But the truth is, the words that come out of your mouth have the power to build or demolish your life, your relationships, and your future. When you speak, you are not just describing the world you see, you are creating it. The words you use lay the very foundation of your reality. If you constantly talk about how hard your life is, how unfair the world can be, or how impossible your dreams seem, you are literally weaving an environment that perfectly mirrors those beliefs. You are sending that specific energy out into the world, and the world in turn responds in kind. Conversely, when you choose to speak with faith, when you declare that possibilities exist even when you can't see them, when you use your words to encourage others, you are cultivating an environment where success, hope, and positivity can flourish. Think about the people who truly inspire you. Do they speak words of doubt? Do they use their platform to tear others down? Or do they use their voice to uplift, to propel people forward, and to open doors for themselves and for others? That is the kind of power you hold in your tongue, the power to speak life into any situation. But remember, that same power can cause immense damage if you're reckless. This is why you must become deliberate about the words you choose. The next time you are about to speak, just pause for a single second. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say going to help this situation, or will it make it worse? Are my words rooted in truth and wisdom, or are they just a reaction born from emotional frustration? Too often, we let our raw emotions hijack our words, leading us to say things we deeply regret. And once those words are out there, they linger. You can apologize, you can try to make amends, but the scar from the initial wound often remains. the damage is done. This is why you must be intentional. And here's the critical part. This isn't just about how you speak to other people. It's about how you speak to yourself. Your internal monologue, your self-talk, is the most important conversation you will ever have. The words you choose when you think about your own life, your own capabilities, and your own future are shaping your reality from the inside out. If you constantly tell yourself, "I can't do this," "I'm not good enough," or "it's just too hard," guess what? Your subconscious mind believes every word. You will begin to live as if those limitations are real, when in fact, they are nothing more than a cage you've built with your own negative self-talk. But when you flip the script, when you begin to intentionally speak positive, affirming, powerful words to yourself, everything begins to change. When you wake up in the morning and tell your reflection, "I can handle whatever comes my way today. I am more than capable. I am worthy of success," you begin to build the unshakable confidence and resilient mind set you need to move forward. You literally speak yourself into strength. You speak yourself into courage. Before long, those words become deeply held beliefs. Those beliefs drive your actions, and those actions become the habits that completely reshape your future. Controlling your mouth isn't about being silent. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that every word that leaves your lips is either an investment in your success or a withdrawal from it. It's about recognizing the profound power your words hold over your relationships, your opportunities, and your own self-perception. Life will throw challenges at you, that is a guarantee. But when you choose your words with care, you can navigate those challenges with grace, control, and purpose. When you speak words of wisdom, positivity, and truth, you attract more of those things into your life. People will start to see you differently. They will respect you more. They will seek your advice because they recognize you as someone who speaks with intention, someone who uses words as tools for building, not as weapons for demolition. Think of your words as seeds. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that is precisely the harvest you will reap. But if you intentionally plant seeds of faith, determination, and positivity, that is what will grow in the garden of your life. Be mindful of the seeds you are planting every single day, because you will have to live with the harvest you create. If you want to see change in your life, it starts with what you say. Stop speaking defeat into your existence. Stop saying, "I can't," and start declaring, "I will." Stop talking about what's going wrong and start focusing on what's possible. And do this not just for yourself, but for the people around you. When you master your words, you become a beacon of strength for others. Your words can lift someone up when they are feeling down. Your words can inspire someone to keep going when they are on the verge of giving up. You cannot control everything in life. You can't control the actions of others, the circumstances you were born into, or the storms that will inevitably come your way. But you can always control your mouth. You can choose to speak words that empower, uplift, and inspire. This isn't just about chasing success. It's about living a life of purpose. Your words are a tool. Use them wisely, and they will build you a life that reflects your true potential. Master your mind, the battlefield within now. Let's get real about the most powerful tool you will ever possess, your mind. Your mind is the command center, the place where everything begins. Every action, every decision, every habit you build is rooted first in a thought. It is the battlefield where your life's wars are won or lost long before they ever play out in the physical world. You have to understand this principle, because if you don't control your mind, it will unquestionably control you. When that happens, you end up living a life that is reactive instead of proactive. A life driven by swirling fears and nagging doubts instead of clear purpose and powerful intention. Think about it. Everything you have ever accomplished, good or bad, started as a simple thought. Whether it was the decision to chase a bold dream, the commitment to finally get in shape, or even a mistake you wish you could take back. It all began in the theatre of your mind. This is why the ancient wisdom, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he," is so profoundly true. Your external life is a direct reflection of your internal landscape. What you focus on expands. It's a law of nature. If your mind is a garden, and you allow the weeds of negativity, fear, and doubt to grow unchecked, they will eventually choke out all the beautiful things you hope to cultivate. But if you intentionally plant and water seeds of growth, possibility, and determination, you will see your life begin to move powerfully in that direction. Too many people let their minds run wild, like an untamed horse galloping toward a cliff. They endlessly worry about what might go wrong, what others might think of them, or whether they are truly good enough. Once those thoughts take hold, they begin to spiral. One negative thought breeds another, and soon they are trapped in a vicious cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, paralyzed by the very thoughts they allowed to take root. But you do not have to live like that. You have the power to change the narrative playing out in your mind. You can choose to be the master of your thoughts, and when you do that, you take back control of your life. Let me break down what this looks like. Controlling your mind isn't about ignoring hardship or pretending that fear doesn't exist. Fear is real, doubt is real, they are natural human emotions. The difference lies in what you do with those feelings. Are you going to let fear build a wall that stops you in your tracks? Or are you going to acknowledge its presence and keep moving forward anyway? That is the choice you get to make every single day. When you control your mind, you don't eliminate fear or doubt. You rise above them. You learn to manage them, to push through them, and to keep going even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. This is where discipline is born. You have to train your mind with the same dedication an athlete trains their body. Mental strength isn't something you just wake up with one day. It is built over time through consistent, intentional effort. You must become a guardian of your mind, fiercely protective of what you allow to enter. So many people feed their minds a constant diet of junk food, negative news, toxic social media drama, endless comparisons, and then wonder why they feel so stressed and overwhelmed. What you consume mentally is just as important as what you consume physically. So, what do? You guard your mind as if it's the most valuable treasure you own because it is. Be ruthlessly selective about what you expose yourself to. If it doesn't nourish your spirit, if it doesn't align with your goals, if it doesn't make you a better person, let it go. Instead, intentionally fill your mind with things that challenge you, that push you to grow, and that inspire you to be better. Read books that expand your thinking and open your mind to new possibilities. Listen to people who motivate you, people who have walked the path you want to walk and have overcome the very obstacles you are now facing. And critically, surround yourself with people who lift you up. The company you keep has a monumental impact on your mindset. If you are constantly around people who are negative, who complain, and who live in a state of perpetual doubt, that energy will inevitably seep into your own spirit. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, focused, and positive, that energy is contagious in the best possible way. The more you expose yourself to a culture of success and possibility, the more your own mind will begin to reflect it. Controlling your mind also means being an active participant in your thoughts. When a negative thought creeps in, and it will, you must learn to catch it, challenge it, and replace it with something better. You cannot allow negative thoughts to sit there and fester. If you do, they will take root and grow into monstrous beliefs that hold you captive. Instead, when you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," stop, challenge it. Ask yourself, is that really true? What evidence do I have that I am incapable? Most of the time, you'll find these thoughts are not based in reality at all. They are just your fear talking. So, flip the script, replace it with a thought that serves you. Another powerful tool is visualization. When you vividly visualize your goals, your dreams, and your success, you are training your mind to focus on what you want, rather than what you're afraid of. When you can see it clearly in your mind, you begin to truly believe it's possible. And once that belief takes hold, you will naturally start taking the actions necessary to make it a reality. Visualization isn't just idle daydreaming. It is a focused, strategic way of programming your mind for success. Every single morning, you face a choice. Will you let the chaos of the world dictate your thoughts, or will you take deliberate control of your mind? Meditation and prayer are also profound practices for this. When you take time each day to quiet your thoughts, to center yourself, and to connect with a sense of peace, you give your mind the space it needs to recharge and refocus. These practices help you become an observer of your thoughts, allowing you to catch the negative ones before they spiral. The bottom line is this: mastering your mind is a daily practice. It's a commitment you make to yourself, to your goals, and to your future. It's about taking full responsibility for your thoughts and understanding that they have the ultimate power to shape your life. When you control your mind, you take back control of your destiny. You are no longer at the mercy of fear or negativity. You are in the driver's seat, steering your life in the exact direction you want to go. Master your mood, the lens of your reality. Finally, let's dive into something that people often overlook, but that dictates the entire texture of their lives: your mood. Your mood is the emotional lens through which you see the world. If you don't learn to control it, that lens can become smudged and distorted, coloring everything around you in shades of grey. You've seen this happen. Someone wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, and for the rest of the day, they carry that dark cloud with them. Every interaction is tense. Every small obstacle feels like a catastrophe. They walk around as if the entire world is conspiring against them, when in reality, the problem isn't the world. It's the lens. They have allowed a fleeting emotion to take over and hijack their entire experience of the day. But here is the truth you need to internalize. Your mood doesn't just happen to you. You have far more control over it than you think. Your mood is not some external force that you are powerless against. It is not something you simply have to surrender to. Your mood is a choice. It is something you can regulate, manage, and shift, regardless of what is happening around you. The moment you truly understand this, the moment you realize you have the power to consciously influence your emotional state, everything begins to change. Now, let's be perfectly clear. Emotions are real and valid. I am not suggesting that you should ignore how you feel. If you're angry, you're angry. If you're sad, you're sad. Those are legitimate feelings and they deserve to be acknowledged. But here is the critical distinction. Just because you feel something does not mean you have to let it control you. Feelings are like waves in the ocean. They rise, they peak, and then they fall. They come and they go. The secret is learning to ride the wave instead of letting it pull you under and drown you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that their feelings are facts. They wake up feeling stressed or anxious, and they immediately conclude that their entire day is doomed. But feelings are not facts. Just because you feel something in a given moment does not make it the absolute, unchangeable truth. It doesn't mean your day is ruined or that your life is permanently off track. It is simply an emotion, a temporary state. The moment you begin to recognize that your mood is fluid and can be changed, you take back your power. This journey starts with one thing: awareness. Most people drift through their day on emotional autopilot. completely unaware of how their mood is poisoning their interactions and decisions. They are simply reacting, not responding. But when you cultivate the habit of becoming aware of your mood, when you learn to check in with yourself and ask, wait a minute, how am I actually feeling right now? You give yourself the power to shift that energy. You become the one in the driver's seat, rather than letting a volatile emotion steer the car. Think about how many times you've let one small, insignificant thing set a negative tone for your entire day. Maybe you got stuck in traffic, or someone made a thoughtless comment. Before you know it, you're carrying that frustration with you for hours, snapping at loved ones and getting irritated over things that truly don't matter. You allowed one small spark to grow into a raging fire. But when you learn to control your mood, you can stop that fire before it spreads. You can learn to pause, take a deep breath, and consciously decide how you want to respond. You can choose to let it go. You can choose not to let that single moment define the next 10 hours of your life. And that is the key: choice. You always have a choice when it comes to your mood. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can always control your response. This isn't about putting on a fake smile and pretending everything is okay when it's not. It is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about managing them in a healthy way that serves you, rather than letting them run the show. It's about finding healthy outlets for your feelings and ensuring they don't dictate your actions in a destructive way. And this is where one of the most powerful tools comes into play: gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate antidote to a negative mood. When you deliberately focus on what you're thankful for, when you make a conscious effort to shift your attention to the good that already exists in your life, it becomes nearly impossible to remain in a negative state. Gratitude forces a perspective shift. It changes your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, from what is lacking to what is abundant. So, when you find yourself slipping into a bad mood, when things aren't going your way, take a moment to stop. Reflect on 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. It doesn't have to be something monumental. It could be as simple as the fact that you woke up this morning, that you have a roof over your head, or that you have people in your life who care about you. Whatever it is, focus on it. Let that feeling of appreciation fill you up. Let it remind you that even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to be thankful for. When you master your mouth, your mind, and your mood, you are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your life. You are in control, and from that place of power, anything is possible.